Hello, Henning Pauli here again. Welcome back to my ATEM Blackmagic Design camera everything buyer's guide. If you've spent some time in the series already, and I think there's, 2.5, 3 hours, probably 3 hours already. Yeah, I went a little bit overboard. But if you spend some time in the series, you might know certain terminology. You might know what SDI means. You know that there's software control for the switchers. You know what the switcher kind of does. You were probably overwhelmed by a lot of information. You were probably overwhelmed by how much money you can possibly spend, thinking that you might have to spend that much money. We're now going into setups, different kind of setups that can spark your imagination and your creativity of what you might need. And we're going to start with a very simple setup of an ATEM Mini Pro, which is the cheapest one in the series, $300. Can already do ISO, can already do streaming, all that. And not even with the Blackmagic camera, because then we're going automatically over 1,000, close to 2,000, including the switcher. We're using a camera I already had lying around. That's kind of dumb. I have many cameras lying around. You might already have lying around, which is a GoPro. Could even be an older one. And the GoPros have halfway decent audio. With the creator kit on it, it's got okay audio. We're filming the whole thing, again, not with a super high-end camera, but with the DJI Pocket 3. So for some part of the video, don't be alarmed, you'll be hearing the lav mic from this. And when I'm switching to the actual recorded program, you're hearing the audio from the GoPro. So all we're doing is sitting in front of a computer, putting the computer into the ATEM and the GoPro into the ATEM, and that's all you do. So this is great for improved video conferencing, software tutorials, maybe gaming videos, stuff like this. It could be a cool setup to get started with and get you started on your journey without breaking the bank. Because if you already have some kind of HD camera to use, you spent $300 plus some kind of old computer monitor, old TV, anything HD will do to go and see what you're doing and monitor through it. But now onto the video. So here we have the first setup that we're doing for you, and it is as cost effective and simple as you can imagine. Actually, no Blackmagic cameras. I know in part number 3, we talked about all the Blackmagic cameras. We're not even using them. We're not even doing camera remote control and all that. This is a setup that you could get started with on a pretty low budget with the camera that you already have. And it is good for, let's say, improved video conferencing, where you want to have control over the audio a little bit more. You want to have control over picture-in-picture stuff, a camera and a computer into the system, stuff like this. For gaming setups and doing picture-in-picture stuff, of course, there are ways to do this with a computer by itself, using Wirestream or the open source OBS. I like to use hardware for this kind of stuff because it just makes a little bit more sense. Now what we have here is an ATEM Mini Pro clocking in at $300. That allows you to do live streaming, that allows you to go to a hard drive, which we have set up right here, which means we're not setting it up with USB with the computer because it's right now occupying the USB-C input, but we can record. And that I will do in a sec. Right here on the panel, we are being connected to the computer with Ethernet. That is why we see the software control right here. What can I do in the software control that I'm not doing on the actual switcher? Not a lot, because I'm not using a Blackmagic camera. I'm actually using a GoPro. In this case, it's a Hero 11 that doesn't have HDMI out, but I've got the Creator Combo shell, which adds a better mic, and it adds USB charging in the back and also an HDMI output in 1080. So right now that is plugged in to a power bank so that it stays on, and it is going HDMI into channel 1 on the switcher. You can see that right there on the monitor. That's me. On the switcher I can say what I'm seeing. So if I click on 1, it's showing me input 1. If I click on 2, input 2. If I click on multi-view, it's showing me the multi-view. If I click on program, it is showing me what I'm currently switching to. They all have this, careful, except for the ATEM SDI, the lowest ranked SDI switcher, clocking in at 350. It does not have live streaming, internal recording, and it doesn't have that picking what you see. You can do that, but you have to do it in the software. So you would do that up here, if you can see, output, and there you can actually see what you will see on the screen. And you can do that for each of the two SDI outputs. But on this one, I have it. So this is $300, and you could use a GoPro of any age. You could use whatever HDMI out capable camera you already have. Now I'm using a Blackmagic Video Assist to monitor what I'm doing. I like doing that because in the corner I can actually see my video format, in this case 1080p 25. But any HD capable old ass TV, computer monitor, whatever you have, you could use to monitor what you're doing. And you probably have something sitting around, and you don't have to buy a video assist. They are nice. You can record on them, SDI, HDMI, audio output, but you can also buy something on Amazon for like $150 just to see what's going on. This is full 1080 though, which is nice. So I have the Mac connected with a very simple, maybe Leslie can show that, $10 maybe, USB little, where is it? Oh, there's this dongle box here. It's like a USB dongle with more USB stuff, and at the bottom it has HDMI out. I connected that, the Mac saw the Blackmagic stuff and immediately just picked the right resolution. And the great thing is, because of format conversion on the ATEMs, as long as it's some kind of not 4K signal, any frame rate, anything in 1080 or below, it'll automatically work. And bam, it just mirrored my monitor. I could say not mirroring, I could say make it a second monitor, but mirroring makes sense. And what we're going to do now is we're going to turn on the recording by clicking right there. I set up the recording quality in the software. It's showing me in the software right there that it's recording on drive 1. That's working, but we could actually show you right there. And so that you still see me, I click picture in picture, and you can actually still see me. Hello. Now you're hearing me right now. Technically, if we're monitoring what's going on the hard drive, which we should, you should be seeing me through the GoPro, and you should be hearing me through the GoPro mic. I didn't actually add a microphone into one of the two inputs because I wanted to do a very low budget setup. And that means the mic on the camera has to be enough. Hopefully that is that in sync? It's tough. That's a band. It's tough to say because when I'm monitoring with the headphones, there is a delay. Where do I monitor with the headphones? That is a big thing because all the minis do not have a headphone out. There is no way to monitor. The extremes do. The minis do not. So therefore, you have to monitor through where it's going. So in this case, my video assist, that is where I can plug in the headphones, but there is latency, which means when I'm like clapping to see is it in time, well, in my headphones, it's not in time, but maybe the video is not in time. We're talking about milliseconds. So hopefully, let's see. Hopefully that right now on the video is in time. If I go back here, turn the key back on, you can actually see me and you can do a beautiful video. You could now do this if you weren't recording this onto the hard drive, but actually using the USB out back into the Mac. You could use that as a video conferencing tool. So that means you can video conference with someone, be picture in picture, and still explain software to them. So, I can just click on things here directly. Of course, that didn't work. I can turn the key on and off. I can change transitions right here. So let's turn that key off. And if I go to, oh my God, who set up the diamond wipe? The wipes are now actually soft. They changed that. So again, I can turn that on, go to the Mac, and there I am picture in picture. You could go to palettes, you can go to DVE, and you can change the position of this. Trust me, doing it with their interface here, it is a bit frustrating. Clicking these little things is annoying. I did find out later that you can grab the X or Y and pull it which makes it easier. And the same thing for the size. Size is linked. The one thing they haven't really done on the actual panel, if Leslie can maybe show that when we go back to the pocket cam. Are you okay with the dog there? Noodle, you're kind of in the way. There are 4 picture-in-picture buttons right there. And it's great to put you in a different corner, but those are preset sizes and positions. You cannot change them yourselves. So that means when I just set it up, the way that I would like it. So let's go back to the recording. If I click any of them, it will override what I just did. So bam, you can put yourself in different corners, but these are preset sizes. So if I go and change the size and the position, next time you click one of those picture-in-picture buttons, like I will do right now, it overrides what you did. I already told them, can you please make it so that I hold in the button and it kind of then saves that as a, let's call it macro or preset size. Because realistically, maybe I want to be, down here. I don't need all of this, so maybe I put this out of the window right there. And that would be a nice position. Now, holding in the button on the actual switcher would be great if it saved that as a preset. Okay, that's a little bit of a gripe there, but actually the rest, let's turn that off. I go back to me. I can do beautiful wipes here. And right now the switcher is set up to do direct cutting. There is no, oh, that is black. That's what happens when you don't have 4 cameras. You can do push. Stuff you don't really need to do. You can also set up the switcher to be program and preview, and then you actually have green buttons, all that blah, blah, blah. Again, the audio is coming through the GoPro, and you can see you have a thing on the table where you have a tactile interface. You can put in some more audio if you wanted to. You can record the audio from the cams, probably even the audio from the Mac. I would assume that the audio from the Mac would maybe go through the HDMI, and if I enable it on the panel, maybe then you can also hear it. I don't have any audio playing. But apart from the video assist, which you don't really need, you can use any old screen that you have. We're talking 300 for the switcher, then some kind of camera. You might have a GoPro. If you're already a content creator, you have some Sony, Panasonic, something lying around that can most certainly do HD. And Bob's your uncle, put your computer into it. Your Xbox now, how is the latency with the gaming setup? There is a bit of latency with audio, which you would have to monitor again through the target screen. And with the video, first-person shooting stuff, I don't know. I don't know if that works. It's milliseconds, but of course for you gamers, that. Hello? Can I help you? The animals do not come with the system. You will have to purchase these separately. And if you wanted really weird ones like we have, you can't even get those. They all land here. So, simple setup, very small desk, and you can see it works. We have, of course, a tripod set up with a light. If you don't have that, actually the GoPro probably would do a half good job. Let's see, can you turn off the light? Oh, well, it's not amazing, but you know what? Yeah, you might not even need a light. We're in a pretty dark room. So this is what could get you started. And then you slowly upgrade. So this was setup number 1. We're going to move on to setup number 2 right away if you click on the next video in the playlist. And that is going to show you the ATEM Extreme with, I think, 3 cameras we got on there, 2 Blackmagic cameras. We're doing camera control. I'm going to show you the extended features on the Extreme. With HDMI so far, we're not going SDI yet. This is a realistic medium to advanced creator setup where someone says, I want to do this on a regular basis and it makes sense for me to spend the money, or a setup for video conferencing in a bigger company and stuff like this. So click on the play, or let it just let it play. Let it all play. Animals at the end.